Hey, bestie dude and dudettes. Welcome to my journey through time. I have selected some perfumes, fragrances that I wore from when I was a child up and through to my teenage years. So from the 80s and 90s, for those of you who hopefully were fooled by my Botox. So I have 4 here, 2 of which I purchased and I did not try because I wanted to save my reaction for you. And then 2 that I did own, but have not used in quite a while because they're associated with memories. So the first one, and I pulled them all up. I'm going to take my sunglasses off so you can see my face as I go through here. I'm going to pull them up too as I go through and read the notes, and that way I kind of know what I'm in for because again, it's been a while for some of these. So the first one I have for you is Love's Baby Soft. So for many people, this has been around for generations, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So this is probably a lot of people's first fragrance or a fragrance that they associate with strong memories. Also probably one that you might associate with some really sketchy ads. If you haven't seen them, go ahead, it's worth a Google. So they don't have the best brand image at this point, just from those ads. But I was able to purchase this on Amazon. I think it's the original formulation. They do seem to be sticking with what works there. And the main notes here are musky, lavender, rose, vanilla, powdery, spicy, floral, and herbal. So that checks out with what I remember. I remember this being pretty much baby powder. But again, I used this when I was very young. You know, in fact, I would not say I wore it at all. It was in my parents' medicine cabinet in our downstairs bathroom. It sat there. I don't think it got a lot of use, but I would occasionally take it out, spray it around, smell it, and then to my baby nose, it smelled like the best thing on earth. So here again's the box, and it does give you the notes right on the box there. That's helpful. I could have read it right off of there. And here's the bottle. Kind of has, if you can see with the hearts on it, it has the vibes from the Tory Burch Love Relentlessly vibes to it. So it definitely might be one that I regift my niece's way, unless it smells really rank. All I'm picking up on the first sniff is powder. I'm going to sniff pretty generously. I'm going to hop right in the shower after this video because I don't imagine I'm going to smell great after mixing all these. Oh, that is some powder. Oh my goodness. There's a little touch of the rose. I can pick up the rose a little bit, and maybe it'll settle down and dry down into something magnificent. But you know, it won't. But oh, if you like inhale, which I did to speak, you know, right after you spray that, wow, that is some powder. So this is basically going out smelling like baby powder, which technically is not a bad scent, but I think people would wonder if you're wearing a diaper. Here's the bottle. I will not be wearing this, but it does definitely bring me back, as I remember the scent pretty well. Just it sitting on a blue sink. Editing me. Sorry about that. I have a new camera and it uses gestures, and whatever gesture I made must have shut off the camera. You didn't miss much. I just finished smelling that Baby Soft and commented that I remembered smelling it on my parents' blue sink, and that's it. So just sorry about that. I'll get more professional as time goes on, hopefully. The next one that I have, I'm super excited for. My mom actually reminded me about this one. I had forgotten about it entirely, but I was telling her all about my growing perfume collection, and she mentioned that one of the first perfumes that I had that was actually for me, as opposed to stolen out of a medicine cabinet, was this. And neither of us remember the name, but we both remember that it came in this little blue bottle with a red top to it. It was very tiny, really adorable. And my sister had one and I had one, and we would dab it on before going to big Italian-American celebrations there. And it is Lulu. I'm probably going to mispronounce the house here. Caccarel, maybe? Please correct me if that's way off. I'm pulling it up on Fragrantica because it has a wonderful description when I was pulling it up to just get ready for this video. And again, I haven't tried this one since 1980 something. When I was pulling it up, oh, the description was magnificent. So one of the top selling perfumes of the 1980s, one of those bold, powerful, distinguishing, and timeless fragrances, Lulu is a controversial perfume that people either like or dislike. The one that provokes different emotions, and indifference for sure is not one of them. Lulu is a fragrance dangerous like Pandora's box. Lulu is like an intoxicating dark red flower which lures you into the depths of a dark and dangerous forest. Yet it is impossible to resist, and once you are engrossed by its warm scent, you simply have to let go and follow it. You must pick the forbidden fruit. So, how can you not love that? All right. So I do know what the bottle looks like. And again, it's not the same one that I had in the 80s. Mine was very tiny, and this one is much larger. It's the same color scheme though, this kind of plasticky looking blue with the red stripe. The red stripe was what it had as the top there. Oh, and the notes. I should read the notes. So the notes are powdery. Oh boy, we're in for more of that. Amber, vanilla, warm, spicy, sweet, woody, fruity, and balsamic. Oh, it's got such a tuberose in it too. I'm definitely picking up something. Maybe vanilla is what I'm picking up. Sweet. Oh, it smells like the 80s. It has like, it doesn't smell like hairspray. That's not fair. But it smells like it would mix really sharply with a lot of hairspray. Like you would definitely get noticed if you put that AquaNet in and then heavy dose of this. The powderiness is pretty nice actually. I just choked on it with the Baby Soft, but I don't hate this. It's kind of, I would say it's pretty, but it's very much of its time. And I don't think it's just because I associate it with the 80s either. I think it just definitely has that 80s vibe to it. It has a pretty note though. I don't think I'd wear this, but I might. I think I'm going to keep this one. I think I'm going to keep this in my collection, maybe spray it when I'm really not going anywhere, and see if I find a niche for it. Maybe just sniff it every once in a while too to remember. It's kind of a fun one. I'm pretty pleased with this one. All right, moving up in my years, we have, and this is you'll see this is a body mist, but I had at the time the perfume. It was probably like an Eau de Toilette or something like that. But it's Gap Dream. I had this in about middle school. So I want to say like 6th, 7th grade. You had to pick your scent. That was part of your identity. So I was a dream girl, you know, and I wore it every single day. I had a little tin looking, like a little metal looking spray, which I would douse myself with pretty liberally. And I don't fully remember what the scents were when I looked it up. But it's pulling as a white floral, which, you know, getting into the psychology, maybe that's why I associate white florals so much with youth. Maybe it's because of Gap Dream, and that's what it triggers me to think middle school. Interesting. But it also, yeah, so the top notes are white floral, citrus, fruity, and fresh, which it doesn't quite jive with my memory. I really remembered, I assumed there was something purple in there, you know, like a lilac scent, something like that, because it's typically, this has a blue label, but I remember it being like the purpley one. And then I also remember it being like creamy, but there's nothing in there really that screams creamy, so that's probably just a mistake in my memory. I repurchased this a decent amount of years ago. That's why I have it. I think I sprayed it once maybe, and then realized I was too old for it and, and never wore it again, but it was good for the nostalgia. It's probably why Gap even re-released it, just for the nostalgia factor, but let's give it a smell. I'm getting a lot of alcohol. That's not fair. I'll let it. Oh, I absolutely remember this. Gap Dream definitely smells like Gap Dream. Like there's nothing else. There's probably something else out there that smells like it, but to me, I would pick this out in a crowd. I would say Gap Dream. If anybody dare wear this past 1995 or whenever the heck I wore it, 1998. it's still kind of pretty. The problem with it is that it definitely smells like Gap Dream, and like again that's kind of just a very distinctive, like a Clinique happy kind of moment where people would know exactly what you're wearing and wonder if it's expired. But it's a nice memory. It really is. I'm definitely wrong about like that creaminess. I don't really smell a creaminess to it. It is a floral, you know, like the notes are there. You know, reading through it, it's just kind of like a lot of chemically, so it doesn't tell you much. Although it does tell me that there's supposed to be blue one in here, and the juice is definitely not blue at this point. So hopefully that's not a bad sign that I sprayed something really horrible on my skin. But middle school, trip to Washington, D.C., very liberal coating of this. And it was a great time had by all. I think I hit it off best with like, what were the other ones? Like Harmony. Oh, I'm forgetting the other ones that were like related to this one. I wonder if it says on the site. Oh, Gap Ohm. I remember that. That was very fancy, but that wasn't part of this original collection. I'm not remembering them now. I want to say there was like a, yeah, like a Harmony one and more of like a citrusy kind of one. And this was the standout to me. And last I have Tommy Girl Summer. So Tommy Girl was a big one for a lot of girls in my grade. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see the juice in here. This is one that I have had since high school. So I don't know if the smell is going to be quite as good as it was in, again, 1998-ish. Also, when I tried to pull it up, they've done some reformulations of this over the years, and I was having trouble finding the one that I own, this particular one. Which exact notes that I know, because I know it's been reformulated. I don't know if it's going to be similar. I remember it being very salty, that like it was like a Tommy Girl fresh citrus scent with maybe like some salt on top of it, very beachy. As you can see, I wore the heck out of it. I wore this at the end of high school. I wore it in college, probably for a couple summers after college too. So this is probably the furthest down I've been in a perfume, to be honest with you. So that being said, I have not worn it in many years. So, and I should probably part ways with it or dump it out or something like that, because at this point it is very old. It's kind of a cool bottle there. It's got the two-tone. I think the juice is like a lighter color, and then the pink, the dark pink of the bottle. It's kind of pretty. Very, very fruity. Like a fruity floral. I'm not picking up the salt note that I remembered so distinctly, so that's how reliable I am. No salt. Maybe I'm confusing it with something. Honestly, I'm not getting the salt. It's not bad. And I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt too, because it's so old. You know, it could definitely be faded. Some of the ingredients in there is not the top prime, but I still, it does smell like I remember, with the exception of not having that beachy note to it. It's mixing with the powder that I've already sprayed so generously on my arm, and there's no powder in here. This is strictly a floral, fruity type of scent. So that is of my little collection here. Oh, careful. And this fella. Oh, so of the four, the only one that I think I would attempt to wear again, it's going to be this one. I will try it on a different day and just see how, if it's wearable at all, or if it just chokes me to death with the powderiness, but I'm going to give it a shot. The rest I will probably just keep for the sake of nostalgia there. And then Baby Soft, we'll see if my niece is interested. I might toss this in that bag. It's got the cute hearts on it, and you know, pretty inoffensive for a child there. And hope that she gets some use out of that one. All right, that has been my breakdown of perfumes and fragrances from the 80s and 90s that I personally wore for many, many years. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to Second is the Best. I'm going to be doing lots and lots of fragrance videos whenever I get that burst of inspiration. I've got a steady stream of fragrances coming to my house for upcoming videos, so hopefully there's a lot of content for you to enjoy. If you did like this video in particular, please hit the like button, and thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.